Key thing to remember when you start working with platform features in a shared project is that you can add any file into a shared project and it gets compiled into each platform project. That means that it's trivial to access platform-specific features because the source file is actually built as part of that platform. Really, the challenge becomes, how do I organize the code properly so that I can maintain it and continue to extend it in the future? So there's really three approaches that we're going to use when we start to structure our code properly. And these same approaches would be used whether we're using file linking or shared projects. So let's look at each of these strategies, starting with conditional compilation. The first thing that we can do is to use conditional compilation. Keep in mind that both file linking and shared projects compile the code with the target. So the symbols defined for a given project are used. That means you can use if blocks to isolate code with predefined symbols. The downside of this approach is maintainability. It's really difficult to see what will get compiled and to verify that code changes won't break the build for other platforms without compiling each platform in turn. The way that we set up our conditional symbols is through the Build tab in your project settings. Notice here we have defined Windows_UWP. That allows us to then use that symbol with a $if inside of our source code to be able to restrict that block of code to be specific to UWP applications. In the same way, we have other symbols that you can see here to be able to isolate specific types of code. For example, __Android___ is defined for every Xamarin Android project, and __iOS___ is defined for Xamarin iOS projects. Windows Phone and Windows UWP are defined as part of the Build tab, as you can see here. And remember that you'll also want to do this for the release builds. And so these particular conditional compilation symbols that you add into the build process are separate between debug and release. And so you'll want to make sure to include them in both.